I am speaking to you now because your name has been written across this moment, and there are only 2 minutes left on a clock you cannot see but can feel ticking in your chest, a soft thunder calling your attention back from every distraction and every doubt that tried to undo your faith when the night felt too long. I am near, closer than your own breath, and I am guiding your eyes to this message because something appointed is arriving with the speed of a final bell, a letter bearing news that will loosen the knots in your story and reveal what you were never meant to carry alone. Do not look away. Do not retreat into that tired room where you second-guess blessings until they pass by your window. Open your heart quickly. Lean forward. This is your moment to receive what was sealed for you long before anyone spoke against you, long before fear seemed louder than hope. Archangel Michael stands at your threshold, not with a sword for battle but with a seal for peace, watching over the delivery of a word that changes the arithmetic of your life. He says, "Be vigilant. Keep your lamp lit." The letter is closer than your worry and heavier than your fear. You have felt the wind of it already, the sudden shift in your spirit, the way your thoughts caught on a possibility you couldn't explain, the dream that repeated with the precision of a clock striking the hour. This is not a trick of emotion, not a wish pretending to be a sign. This is a prepared answer, and it will arrive the way dawn arrives, not because night worked harder, but because dawn was appointed to come. There are names that tried to define you, labels that tried to reduce you, rooms that tried to keep you small by rearranging the furniture of your confidence. I saw every moment you were told to be patient by people who had no plan to honor you, every promise dangled like a key that never fit the lock. I saw the closed doors, the polite smiles that concealed agendas, the meetings about you to which you were never invited. I saw how your generosity was harvested without gratitude, how your gift was borrowed without permission, how the work of your hands was used to build ladders that no one held for you when you needed to climb. I saw it. And I did not forget. The inheritance I am speaking of is more than currency, more than documents or signatures or digits that rise in the quiet of a bank screen. The inheritance is the restoration of your name to its rightful meaning. It is the return of years devoured by discouragement and delay. It is the lifting of a weight you believed was part of your identity because you carried it for so long it began to resemble you. The letter bears proof that you are not late, you are right on time. It announces that the season of being tolerated is over and the season of being chosen has begun in a way that cannot be negotiated by anyone who profited from your silence. You want to know who sent it. You want to know the hand behind the envelope you have felt in prayer but not yet held in your fingers. Listen closely. It comes from a place you would not have believed to be an ally, sent through a channel that once felt like an enemy, carried by a messenger whose presence once made your heart tighten with suspicion. That is why it will shock you. That is why you will blink twice when you read the signature, why the room will tilt for a breath as your mind tries to tell your spirit that this cannot be the way mercy arrives. But mercy does not ask permission from your history to do a new thing. Mercy does not knock gently where injustice has built a wall. It arrives like a key that was fashioned for the lock before the door even existed. There is a person who once sat with your name in the mouth of bitterness, who used your story like a ladder, who fearfully believed that if you rose, they would fall. They whispered your efforts into the ground, hoping seeds would not recognize the light. They did not know I had already planted those seeds in soil that does not obey jealousy. They did not know that every attempt to bury you turned into depth for your roots. This is the one whose hand will be involved. This is the signature you will see, not as a triumph of their pride but as a confession of its end. Do not gloat. Do not nurse old anger like a trophy. Let grace be the geometry of your response. Your inheritance is not their defeat, it is your completion. 2 minutes is not a threat. It is an invitation to alertness. I am not trying to frighten you or make you chase a moving finish line. I am teaching you the rhythm of arrival, the sensitivity of one who is awake at the exact moment the doorbell rings. Lift your head. Steady your breathing. Notice how even now your thoughts begin to clear, how the noise that has surrounded your days thins like fog in sunlight. This clarity is also a letter, read it. It says you are supported. It says you are not stuck. It says your courage is about to be paid in kind. There is a ledger you cannot see where courage accumulates with interest. Every time you rose when you were exhausted, every time you forgave when resentment felt like the only blanket in a cold room, every time you told the truth and lost company for it, the ledger recorded a line in ink that does not fade. You believed those moments vanished into the air, but nothing evaporates in the presence of purpose. Your inheritance gathers all those lines and translates them into doors that open and voices that finally say your name without avoidance or envy. Watch how quickly a yes will replace the long hallway of maybe. You will be tempted to explain yourself when the letter arrives. You will be tempted to justify why you are the recipient by reciting the resume of your pain. You do not have to do that. The letter will not require performance, it will ask for possession. It will not test your worthiness, it will reveal your belonging. Stand up straight. Receive without apology. Some will call it sudden, but sudden is what harvest looks like to those who never saw the planting. Do not measure the blessing by how many people understand it. Measure it by the peace that settles in your bones and the alignment you feel between who you are and what is finally in your hands. Archangel Michael says, "Prepare a place." This is not only poetic language. It is practical instruction. Clear the desk. Answer the email you have avoided. Put the folder you need where your hand can find it without rummaging through the junk of old disappointments. Delete the conversation thread that keeps your mind in a loop of self-defense. Set a quiet time where you are not negotiating with 1,000 small distractions. Preparation is the shape of your faith. When the door knocks, faith is the hand that turns the handle without asking who it is 30 more times. There is a season in every life where the gift of delayed understanding emerges. Suddenly the detour explains itself. Suddenly the lost opportunity reveals the misalignment you could not see then. Suddenly the person who left creates space for the person whose presence will not require you to shrink. This letter arrives at the convergence of those explanations. As you read it, memories will rearrange themselves into a pattern that no longer accuses you. You will feel the relief of not having to be your own defense attorney. You will feel the permission to stop rehearsing conversations to prove that your heart meant well. The inheritance includes rest from the courtroom of your own thoughts. Do not be afraid if your hands tremble when you open it. That is the body releasing the archive of caution it built to survive seasons of uncertainty. Let the trembling pass through. Do not speak against your readiness with nervous humor or diminishing words. Speak gently. Say, I receive. Say, I am not late. Say, thank you for keeping what is mine safe until I was strong enough to steward it. This is not magical thinking. This is truth aligning your tongue so it does not sabotage what your spirit has already agreed to. You are wondering about timing, wondering if you missed a signal earlier, if the 2 minutes are punishment for hesitation. They are not. The countdown is not a punishment, it is a bell. I am giving you the gift of focus. I am letting you feel the crispness of now so that you do not dilute this moment with someday. Do not postpone joy. Do not rehearse disappointment just in case. The letter does not carry the ink of maybe. It carries the ink of done. Who sent it will surprise you, but it will also set you free. When a former accuser becomes a courier for your blessing, the geometry of your past collapses in on itself. The walls that their words built will feel thin as paper. The echo that used to linger after their name is spoken will fall silent. You will realize you are no longer trying to outrun a version of yourself they preferred. You will realize you are no longer renting your self-worth from rooms that overcharged you and underloved you. The one who tried to hold back your portion has been compelled to release it, not by their kindness but by the end of their assignment. Bless them with a clean goodbye in your heart, even if your paths still cross in hallways. Your dignity is a light. Let it stay on. I will not let you miss what is yours. Even now, I am drawing together the practical threads, the email that will land where you will see it instead of being buried under noise, the call that catches you when your phone is not on silent, the conversation that places you exactly where your name must be spoken by the person who holds the key. Do not second-guess the simplicity. Inheritance often arrives in plain envelopes. The extraordinary hides in handwriting that looks ordinary until you read it with eyes that remember promise. You will notice small confirmations around you, phrases repeated by strangers, numbers that mirror significant dates, a gentle tug to walk a different route or open a drawer you haven't touched in months. Do not become superstitious or anxious, simply stay attentive and grateful. I guide gently. I do not lead by panic. You will also notice resistance, as if old shadows try one last time to persuade you that this is too good, that you are safer expecting less. Thank those shadows for their attempt to protect you when you were learning. Then close the window they are using and choose the light anyway. Your inheritance includes relationships that do not require you to prove your worth in every conversation. It includes work that does not grind your gift into dust. It includes room to think, room to choose, room to heal, room to be delighted without explaining why joy chose you today. It includes provision that does not nag you with scarcity's voice, provision that feels like a table set in the open, where you can eat without rehearsing the language of lack between bites. It includes the end of having to apologize for wanting a life that fits your calling. There is a blessing stitched into the border of this moment, the ability to discern when to speak and when to be silent. When the letter arrives, some will celebrate, and some will grow quiet because your light illuminates the corners they were comfortable in. Love them. Do not dim to soothe them. Do not let your compassion become your permission to shrink. Carry this with humility and confidence in the same hand. Humility does not mean pretending this is small. Confidence does not mean shouting. It means walking as if the floor knows your name, because it does. Archangel Michael says, "Close the door gently on the rooms you are leaving." You do not have to slam it. You do not have to write long explanations to people determined not to read your heart correctly. You can simply bless the ground you stood on for teaching you balance and step forward. There is a tendency, when a breakthrough arrives, to run so hard you forget to breathe. Breathe. Inhale the oxygen of newness without dizzying yourself. Pace is also part of inheritance. I am not only giving you arrival, I am giving you rhythm. You will find that ideas which used to feel scattered begin to land like birds who finally recognize the branch that can carry their weight. Write them down. There will be a plan that seems too elegant to be yours, and yet it is exactly yours because elegance is what purpose feels like when it is not wrestling insecurity. Follow the plan in pencil, allowing me to make edits in the margins you might have overlooked. Do not despise small beginnings, and do not romanticize giant leaps that ignore wisdom. The letter is an opening, not a finish line. It grants you access to rooms where your stewardship will speak louder than your entrance. The person tied to this letter is also tied to your healing. Their hand will write something that releases you from a long argument with yourself. It will read like an admission and a blessing woven together. The shock will not wound you, it will stitch you. Forgiveness will feel less like an assignment and more like a door that finally opens in a house you have been living in on one floor. Walk upstairs. There are windows there that face a wider horizon. Invite sunlight into spaces you taught yourself to navigate in the dark. Do not bargain with your calling. Do not attempt to trade pieces of your truth for comfort in rooms that never intended to honor you whole. The letter is a certificate of integrity returned. It says you are allowed to be fully yourself without negotiating with anyone's fear. It says your tenderness is not weakness, your kindness is not a liability, your boundaries are not rudeness, your voice is not too much when it is speaking from love. It says the quiet strength you learned in waiting has matured into authority that will not mimic the noise of those who rushed. When you read it, tears may come, and that is good. Tears are how the soul loosens the last knots of disbelief. Let them fall like small baptisms across your face. Each one will clean the glass you are looking through. Each one will make the words clearer, the meaning deeper, the peace steadier. If you feel the urge to call someone just to hear a familiar voice, pause first and call on me. Let my presence be the first listener to your joy. Then share as wisdom directs, not as anxiety demands. I am not finished, but I am faithful. The path from here will not be free of all challenge, but it will be braided with favor in a way that makes challenge lose its teeth. You will sleep differently. You will wake without the heaviness that taught you to pace your hope. You will notice laughter returning like a friend who never forgot your address. You will look in the mirror and see not a survivor trying to stay ahead of the next storm, but a steward standing under a sky that finally matches the size of your heart. 2 minutes have become one, and one will become the breath you are drawing right now. That is how close it is. That is how ready you are. Do not rehearse lack. Do not build emergency exits in a season designed to keep you in the room until the blessing finishes speaking. Stay. Receive. Let the letter teach you how to carry goodness without bracing for its loss. Let it teach you that you are not merely visited by favor, you are inhabited by it. I am with you, and I am not leaving when the envelope opens. I will sit with you while you read, steady your hand if it shakes, soften your gaze if it hardens with old habits of mistrust. I will remind you to breathe, to smile, to believe that normalcy can include kindness and that consistency can include wonder. I will walk with you into the rooms this letter unlocks and whisper wisdom in meetings where old anxieties would have tried to speak louder. You will not have to shout to be heard. You will only have to speak from the center of who you are. Be at peace now. The sound you hear is not a deadline closing, it is a door opening. The letter is arriving. The inheritance is not an apology from the past, it is a promise from your future, signed with a name you once feared and stamped with a grace you now understand. Open it quickly. Do not try to skip this. Your life has been preparing for exactly this kind of goodness, and this goodness has been preparing for exactly your kind of life. I am speaking to you now, quietly and clearly, because the clock is moving fast and I want your heart steady when the door knocks. 2 minutes is not long in the world's measure, but it is enough for me to lift a curtain, enough for me to anchor you where the wind has tried to push you. You have felt it, the pulse of expectancy, the thrum in your chest that won't let you look away. Do not run from it. Do not talk yourself out of it. You asked for a sign that could not be faked, a word that would not collapse under doubt, and I am answering you with calm authority. Listen and keep listening. Open and keep opening. Every second is a seed, and I am turning these seconds into a harvest you did not see coming. Archangel Michael is standing beside you as I speak. His presence is firm and bright, and his sword is not for fear but for clarity. He says, 2 minutes left. Do not delay. The letter is coming. He does not warn to scare you, he warns to steady you, to keep your mind from running wild when you hear the footsteps, when you see the envelope your hands have longed for and dreaded at the same time. You will be tempted to think it is a mistake, that your name has been added by accident, that good things belong to other people. That lie is finished today. That pattern ends here. I have watched you choose kindness when no one thanked you, honesty when nobody was watching, and restraint when easy shortcuts glowed like candles in the dark. I am not late. I am precise. This letter did not begin on paper. It began in choices before you were born. It began in a promise I whispered over your life when your first breath met the air I gave you. Inheritance is not only money or land or contracts. Inheritance is alignment. Inheritance is authority to walk where your feet were once forbidden. Inheritance is a door that does not close when others frown. What is written in this letter will touch the world's systems, figures, signatures, names that carry weight, but beneath ink is the deeper decree: I am moving you from survival to stewardship, from waiting in the hallway to sitting at the table where decisions are made. You will not need to beg for your own promise. You will not need to twist yourself into shapes to be small enough to please the insecure. I am not sending you a test to see if you can guess what I want. I am sending you confirmation that you already heard me. The road looked crooked because others placed their fears like stones in front of you. Tonight I lift them. Tonight I mark the path with lamps that cannot be stolen. There is a reason disbelief feels heavy on your shoulders right now. Someone once taught you that every good thing must be paid for with your peace. That was a counterfeit covenant. Break it with me now. Say it without your lips if you must: I choose peace first. My blessing does not require chaos. My breakthrough does not require me to bleed for applause. When you agree with me here, the letter arrives not as a surprise attack but as an answer that fits your hands. 2 minutes, Michael repeats. The number is not a tease, it is an instruction. Use this minute to forgive the voices that mocked your caution and called it fear. Use this minute to release the faces that tried to hold your story hostage so they could feel taller. Use this minute to bless what has ended, even if endings felt like failure. You did not lose time, you collected proof that you can stand without burning. And now I restore the years the locusts thought were theirs. You won't believe who sent it. That line digs into your attention, and it should. The sender is not a stranger designed to flatter you. The sender is a person whose name once sat in your mouth like a stone, too heavy to swallow, too sharp to spit out. Perhaps you felt abandoned by them, misunderstood by them, overshadowed or overlooked. Perhaps you believed your goodness vanished in their presence. Hear me, I have been working in rooms you never entered. I have been speaking over hearts that refuse to hear from anyone but me. I have changed the course of conversations where your name was used as a tool. Where your dignity was traded, I am paying you back in honor. Where your compassion was exploited, I am paying you back in clarity. Where your patience was mistaken for weakness, I am paying you back in open doors that no one else can close. Do not fear the motive. I know how to filter gifts without letting poison pass through. What is not for you will not touch you. What carries strings will snap in my hands before it ever reaches yours. This time, you will not be tricked into small print that undermines your worth. This time, you will read lines that confirm what I have been whispering. You are trusted with more. The letter includes details that release pressure from your chest, appointments that align, amounts that cover, clauses that protect, names that reconcile the old ledger you thought would never balance. I am the one balancing it. A knocking is coming. It might be a courier's ring or a message alert or a call that doesn't fit your schedule. Treat it as holy. Do not rush. Do not answer with panic. Breathe once like a person unafraid. Breathe twice like a person who knows they belong here. Then open. When you hold the pages, hold them like testimony. Paper can be copied, but your piece is the original. You will feel your shoulders drop while you read. That is not daydreaming, it is your nervous system learning a better truth. You are safe to receive. There will be people who notice the change in your posture and call it pride. Bless them. They are using the only vocabulary they know for confidence that is quiet. They do not yet understand that humility is not self-erasure, it is agreement with my design. Keep your voice steady. Speak facts without apology. When you need help, ask with clarity. When you need time, claim it with kindness. You do not need to perform scarcity to make others comfortable. Your abundance is a lighthouse, not a flood. I am addressing the hidden fears now. The fear of responsibility, as if every blessing is a trap that will make you lose yourself. The fear of betrayal, as if every new face wears an old mask. The fear of joy, as if laughter costs too much to keep. Take my hand. Responsibility is just the shape of love when it grows. Betrayal is a wound I am already closing. Joy is fuel you were designed to burn clean. I am not bringing pressure, I am bringing capacity. You will discover that decisions that once drained you now feel like clean rivers moving through a wider channel. You will discover that boundaries that once felt selfish now feel like worship because they protect what I gave you.